Zechariah chapter 13 and 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Harakah Kwadash. Give double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and with all the sincere Akim keep pushing, Kwam Yoshua. We're in that time now, man. It's a moral decline. And you just have to just walk down the road and, you see what's happening on the news. Complete moral decline. And we're in that time of purging. That's why it says in Zechariah, and it shall come to pass that the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. And we're in that time now, the purging, man. The last death I've heard of one of celebrities was his name, Young Dolph, and I think he was shot at and he was killed, and it wasn't the first time. Celebrities getting robbed, houses being attacked. One of the singers, if you heard of Toni Braxton, she's got a younger sister named Tamar Braxton. She said that she was set up by her former boyfriend and robbed, and they took her safe, and you can tell she's upset about it. But these are the kind of things that you're starting to see more and more and more of. Celebrities getting put to death, man, by judgment. Was it last year? Pop Smoke was taken out. So many other more celebrities, and you're going to keep hearing about more and more deaths, man, because that's what it is. The 2 parts being cut off, man. Let me carry on reading in 9 says, kind of windy day today. We're going to push through, and Yaharatazai, you get to hear me still loud and clear on the video, but if it don't come through loud and clear, I'll just do it again at home. We're in November now, and we feel it getting a bit more chilly. It's all right, it's all good. It's all right, it's all good. Yaharatazai, this is the last November we got in this wicked kingdom. But even if not, the camera. Let me fix up the camera. But even if not, Most High give us the strength and the power to endure what is about to come on this earth. And 9 says in Zechariah 13, and it will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and I will bring the 3rd part through the fire and refine them. So we're in that time of being refined now. That's why you hear of brothers being sick. One of the brothers in our camp was recently sick in hospital, but through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yoshai, man. Brothers squeeze him up with the oil. He's back again, and it's not the first time. There's sicknesses in Israel, man, and that goes back to the curses, isn't it? Deuteronomy 28. We ourselves are being under these curses, are going through these refinements. As it says there, being refined them, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call upon my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So we're in that time now, going through the refining, and that's not such a bad thing. It happened before in the wilderness, where they had to go through that purge out all the rebels and all those who stood up against Moses. It got so bad that they actually wanted to stone Moses at one point. So, and that was led by the rebels, the prominent rebels, or the infamous rebels, Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, man. So they had to be, eventually those rebels were put to death. The floor opened up and swallowed them up. That was in the wilderness, and also it was about 14,000, around 14,000 people, man. Let me get that. That's in numbers. We're hearing about deaths now, because I was meditating upon this, because it's almost like we're in that wilderness now again, which there is some future point where we're going to be in a wilderness, but We're gonna concentrate on this in Numbers 16. I'm just gonna bring this point out here. And 49 says, now they that died in the plagues were 14,700 besides them that died about the matter of Korah. 14,700 died in the wilderness because of their standing up and wanting to stand against the congregation of Moses. And that's where, which is a nice precept to meditate on in Numbers 16. Rebels had to be purged out even in the wilderness. And rebels, we're in this spiritual wilderness now. You're hearing about the rebels that are dying now, and you're going to continue to hear about these rebels being put to death via many, many ways, man. Via the V. That's one of the plagues or pandemic that the Most High has put on our people, as well as all the other nations. So that's why I'm going to read it again, man. We're preparing ourselves now to go through this fire. Let me hold this mic, hold this phone. The wind's trying to blow it over. Right. Make sure I keep the phone steady. The wind's, we're in some strong, every now and then a gust of wind comes past, whether it be Satan or just that time of year, autumn, winter. But we're going to push through anyway. Zechariah 13, because I'd rather do the videos, I'd rather do my videos out and about for some reason. But if it starts to get too breezy and too cold, that's when we start to get into the, hibernating more and more in the yard. But regardless, we're still going to be out there, doing our thing on the highways and the bypass. Let me hold this, make sure that this don't drop. Hold this steady. So let me bring this out again, man. Zechariah 13. We're in that time now. And 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I will refine them as silver is refined, and I will try them as gold is tried. They shall call upon my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So, as one of the brothers said, man, the North Carolina brothers said that the more we start to see these things, and some of us who may have to go into concentration camps or may have to be in the wilderness, whatever it may be, or may have to be departed from some of our creature home comforts, we call upon his name more. Yeah, I will say, and he will say, it is my people, and they shall call upon, and I shall say, the Lord is my God. And they shall say, the Lord is my God. What's the point I want here? They shall call upon my name. Right, that's the time we're going to call upon his name even more. And it says there, and I will hear them. And I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God. So yes, man, that time we start to call upon him even more. Not less. Yeah, if we remain in the spirit, and we of that number of the elect, Yehovah Tazah, we are, the Most are going to hear us. Jeremiah 15. Right, this is what we're seeing now, man, upon our own people. Let me bring this out in verse 2. It says, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then shall thou tell them, thus saith the Lord, such are for the deaf to deaf, such are for the sword to the sword, and such are for the famine to the famine, and such are for the captivity to the captivity. Right, we're seeing that time now, man. Deaf, sword to the sword, famine to the famine, captivity to the captivity. Right, 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, the fowls of the heavens, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Boy, many ways to skin a cat, as the old saying goes. The Most High has many ways to skin a cat. Death by famine, death by sword, death by just starvation, outright starvation, captivity. So, Yehovah Tazah, that's why we call upon the Most High's name, man. And he will hear us. Let me bring this one out as another beautiful precept in 1 Peter 5 and 6 says, humble yourself therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Right. That involves calling upon his name. That involves putting on our sackcloth, which we do that to symbolize mourning when we're out there on the highways and the byways, and also the godly sadness that comes along with being in this truth, man. There is a godly sadness. But the godly sadness, there is always light at the end of the tunnel that we look forward to. So that's why we're in that mindset, man. We endure things for the Most High's sake. So humble yourselves under the mighty hand of, that's why we humble ourselves, man. Yeah? Under the mighty hand of God, because that he may exalt us in due time. You know what I'm saying? There is light at the end of the tunnel, man. Humble ourselves, no matter what we go through. Continue to call upon his name with a contrite heart and a sincere heart. Yah Ratazah, he will hear us. Let's bring out this one in James and 5 says. James chapter 4 and verse 6 says, but he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith. Yeah, that's the one. But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Right. We humble ourselves, man, in a contrite heart, with a contrite spirit, man. Call upon his name, ask him for forgiveness and mercy, and for the strength to endure what is about to come upon this earth. If you haven't seen the news lately, man, what's going on over there in Austria? The lockdowns, they're doing those lockdowns for people who haven't had that shot. Is it New Zealand? Also Canada, Australia, and no doubt it's gonna come over here, London, England, America. This thing's gonna be worldwide, man. So submit yourselves wherefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And Yah Ratazah, we don't draw further away from the Most High when we start to see these things taking place. We draw closer to him. Yeah. 8 goes into that too. Verses 8 says, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners. Purify your hearts, you double-minded. Right. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned unto mourning, and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the sight of God, and he shall lift you up. You hear that? Right. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning. That's that folly laughter, that unnecessary laughter, where talks about a man that just has he just laughs for the sake of it. I think that's in Proverbs, or it might be in Ecclesiastes. So we get rid of that folly, that unnecessary folly. Yeah, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Right. Be afflicted, man. That godly affliction. That mourning. That's why sickness is not always necessarily a bad thing, man. When you see brothers going through their trials and tribulations, because in actual fact, it can draw you closer to the Most High if you have that mindset, the right mindset. That's why it says there, be afflicted and mourn and weep. When you're going through that and you cry upon the Most High, you ask him to give you wisdom, as it mentions in James, and the strength to endure all these things. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning, and your joy to heaviness. That's that godly heaviness. The fact that you're in this truth. Your eyes are open now. Because Ecclesiastes talks about wisdom. Mere oppression makes a wise man act crazy. Your eyes are open now, and King Solomon is an example of that, man. He said that everything is folly. When he's, wisdom. When you actually get more wisdom, you get to see that everything is folly and vanity. And he said that in Ecclesiastes chapters 3, or it might be chapters 1 and 2. Everything is folly and vanity and striving after the wind. Emptiness. right? Weep, let your laughter be turned into mourning. This is James chapter 4 and 9. And your joy to heaviness. Humble yourselves in the mighty sight of the Lord. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Right. So when we go through what we're going through, whatever it may be, we humble ourselves in the sight of the Lord and turn a negative into a positive, and the Most High will lift us up. Right? It's all about the right mindset. And we've got another beautiful example here in Philippians chapters 2. These are all about that time now. We're going through the humbling, the humiliation, yeah, the powerless times. So we're going to go from, I'm going to entitle this video, going from powerless to powerful. And if the Spirit's on me, I might bring out a little vision I had last night, if I remember. Right, so this is Philippians chapters 2 and 8. And it says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself. You know, I was talking about Yahushua. And became obedient unto death, even to death of the cross. Right, let that settle. I'm going to come back with that one. Philippians 2 and 8 says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Wherefore God also hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every other name. That was the key. That's the blueprint right there. Yahushua, and we look to him. You know, we look to the brass serpent as our master worker, our blueprint, what he did there. And wherefore God also hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every other name, that at the name of Yahushua, it says Jesus here, at the name of Yahushua every knee should bow, of things in the heavens and things in the earth and things under the earth. Through that was, if he didn't have that humility and he didn't humble himself, there's no way he would have been exalted to that superior position where every name, yeah. Wherefore God also hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every other name. Right. And through that name, that every name of Yahushua, the name of Yahushua, every knee should bow, of things in the heavens and things in the earth and things under the earth. Now that is what you call from powerless, or what seemed to be powerless when he came as a sheep. Seemed to be powerless. In actual fact, he was powerful also, because he could call upon his angels, man, myriads and myriads of angels. But he appeared to be powerless, but in actual fact, because of that humility, he became powerful, more powerful than we could possibly imagine. Yeah, that was in the movie Star Wars with Darth Vader wanted to strike down Obi-Wan Kenobi. I sometimes refer to that when he said to when Darth Vader said to Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you strike me down now, I shall become more powerful than you should possibly imagine. If you strike me down now, when they both had that lightsaber, and they went in just before they're going to go into battle, and Obi-Wan put up his lightsaber, he turned it off, put it up to his head, and he let Darth Vader strike him down, man. And all you saw was an empty, what looked like one of those garments what we wear on the floor. And he stepped on the garment and there was nothing there. It looked like a sackcloth. So, and Obi-Wan let Darth Vader strike him down because he knew the bigger picture. And he did become more powerful than Darth Vader. So, I say that to say Yahushua, that's what comes to mind when I think about what Yahushua did, man. You know? So that name of Yahushua, every knee should bow, of things in the heavens, things in the earth, and things under the earth, because he became more powerful Yeah, wherefore, let me read it again. Philippians 2, I got to read it one more time, man, and 9. Wherefore God also have exalted him and given him a name which is above every other name, that at the name of Yahushua every knee should bow, of things in the heavens and things in the earth and things under the earth. So we look to our brass serpent, which Yahushua, otherwise known as Jesus, and can otherwise be known as the brass serpent. We look to him as our blueprint, our exemplar. Right, here's another precept. This could be the last one to end it off, because we just looked at the blueprint and we're going to model him, Yahushua, or Jesus as they call him in the Christian church, but his name is Yahushua. He saves, he delivers. That's the meaning of that name, Yahushua, in the Hebrew. He saves, he delivers, because he did die for us, our ungrateful people, and he even died for the 2/3, which they are going to come back in their right minds in the kingdom. So this is what we're doing here now in 2 Chronicles 7. We're encouraged to do this in 14. It says, if my people which are called upon my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. Right, and they didn't do that in the wilderness. Most of them were smited and put to death by means of many things, man, by not being obedient, by starvation, by being bitten by serpents, because they didn't look to the brass serpent, most of them died out in the wilderness, you know, because of out of just sheer disobedience. And a lot of them were swallowed up also, the rebels who wanted to follow Korah, Dathan and Abiram. A lot of them were swallowed up, yeah, by that what they call it was literally an earthquake. The Most High opened up the earth to swallow them up, man. So because they didn't do that, they didn't humble themselves. In 14, I'll read it again. It said, if my people which are called upon my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face. Today we're encouraged to do the same thing, and a lot of the 2/3 are here, back here. The rebels that were back in the wilderness are back here today doing the same thing, suffering. Some of them are suffering the same fate, being judged. And turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from the heavens and I will forgive their sins and I will heal their land. And it was only Joshua and Caleb that was able to, those who are under 20, was it under 20? Or those that were over 20 were died out in the wilderness, man, wandering around in the wilderness and died out. It was just Joshua and Caleb, the faithful men, that the Most High put the Spirit on them to lead. They were the successors of Moses. Joshua and Caleb, the successors of Moses. So there's a moral to the story right there. There is a moral to the story. Take heed, man, and that was what we just read in 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. 15 says, now my ears shall be opened, right? Now mine ears shall be opened, and my eyes shall be opened, and my ears attend unto the prayers that is made in this place. Right. For now I have chosen and sanctified this house that my name may be there forever, and mine eyes and mine heart shall be there perpetually. So he's talking about the elect right there, for those that are going to be obedient, man. Let me take it back one more time. 2 Chronicles 7 and 14 says, if my people which are called upon my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, right? Don't get the joke. Yeah, they're going to try and come with all different kind of ways to tempt us, to lure us away, to seduce us. Talking about the lockdown now, coming up now, what they're doing over there in Austria. Yeah, it's all planned. Yeah, the New World Order, and then eventually they're going to come with that MOTB. Yeah, the icing on the cake. Yeah, but what we're going to do? There is a solution here. If my people which are called upon my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from the heavens, and I will forgive their sins, and I will heal their land. Giving our praises to Yahweh Hashem Yoshai. He's going to give us the strength to endure. And He's going to bless us, man. Yeah, He's going to bless us. As it says there, He's going to hear us if we cry out to Him, man, with humility. So, look, there's one more I'm going to bring out, and that shall be the icing on the cake. Right, let me bring this one out. Whosoever, this is in Matthew 18 and 4. It says, whosoever therefore shall humble himself, as we're on that subject, as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Right, so that's the theme, to humble ourselves and call upon the Most High Yahweh's name. Because many of the disciples, even the disciples of Yahushua, the 12, were arguing among themselves, man. Talking about who is the greatest among them, man. They had a couple of arguments about that. You know, and Yahushua had to call a little child and put it before them, man. If you want to be great, this is what he said. I'll read it again, man. Matthew 18 and 4 says, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Which means not to be childish, but to be more childlike. In other words, always willing to learn, to be always willing to be able to be taught, not believing that you know too much and no one can't tell you nothing. So you have an open mind as far as when it comes to learning more about this truth. And for myself, I will say this, man, the little time I've been in there, 5 years, in this truth, I would say, is the more I realize I don't know as much as I thought I knew. And I realize that I've got so much more to learn, which is a good thing. To have that spirit on you like that is a good thing, to realize that you have so much more to learn. And if you keep your eyes open, your ears open, you learn something new every day. And you'd be surprised who you can learn from too. Can you learn from people in the world? You can do, if you listen close enough. And as it says there, whosoever shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So we looked at what we just looked at there. The theme is to humble ourselves, man, and to call upon Yahweh's name. And the greatest example of that, the greatest example of that is Yahushua, the brass serpent. Right, let me bring out this one too, is another one. Matthew 23 and 10 says, neither be ye called master, for one is your master, even Yahushua. Again, our prime example of there. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. Right? And Yahushua was our servant, man. You know, and he's our example up to this very day. And he actually did wash the apostles or the disciples' feet, man. He says, who is it that is among you that is washing your? And they said he says, who is the greatest among you? And they said it was Yahushua. And he said, am I not your servant, the one washing your feet? And that was an example that was given to them. You know, that to be great doesn't mean to be lording it over your brothers, or lording it over, or to be as those who are like the ones in this world. Like you might have the MPs, the president, you know, the tyrant, which Joe Biden now they're calling him. He went to a particular city in America, and they started calling him, you tyrant. They started shouting out all forms of names. So he now has a nickname of tyrant. So, but Yahushua, Matthew 26, says, neither ye be called master, for one is your master in heaven. Yeah, that's another word they use in Christian church, in like the Catholics and all these other Christian churches. Father, masters, and all these big titles, man. And also in a lot of those college higher learning places where they become students and higher learning teachers. And they have all sorts of names like Lord, Honourable, such and such in the House of Commons as well. So these are examples that Yahushua said we don't follow. So 11 says in Matthew 23, but he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Kala Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Wadash. I'm going to end off with this precept. Yeah, it's a nice precept to leave you in, to leave this video on, to meditate, for us to meditate on, in Philippians 2, and I'm going to read from 8, and it says, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death on the cross. Wherefore God also have exalted him and given him a name that is above every other name, that the name of Yahushua every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. Giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakah, Wadash, and to Wada to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua for giving me the spirit to do this video. We looked at those good examples, and if we follow Yahushua's example, our true master, teacher, or otherwise known as Big Brother or Brass Serpent, our exemplar, we look to him as the blueprint to follow, from going from weakness or powerless to powerful. Giving our praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and to Wada to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua for giving me the spirit to do this video. Until the next one, Shalom.